All right. Hey, guys, welcome. This could be a very quick introduction. Just to tee up this Zoom recording I had today was with a client's team lead, and I've been working with him and a group of 7 or 8 loan officers to help them improve their social media profiles, right? So LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Today, we were talking about LinkedIn, and we were talking about having a complete profile on LinkedIn. And it's what I call low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit is that which is easy to complete, something that's really easy to do, right? Easy to reach that apple in the tree, but provides significant benefits. And so instead of creating a massive LinkedIn strategy, which can be super helpful and can work really well, before we do that, want to make sure that at a minimum, we've got a complete profile. And a complete profile is something that is going to look professional. It's going to be searchable and findable on both LinkedIn and through Google. And then it makes it easy for realtors and borrowers and other referral partners to get a hold of you. And that's what a LinkedIn complete profile is. It's easy to do. And in this Zoom recording, we get right to it and walk through the different components that make up a complete LinkedIn profile. So hope you find it helpful, and we'll jump right in. Okay, so we're talking about LinkedIn and low-hanging fruit, right? So we define low-hanging fruit by what's the easiest things that I can grasp as it relates to social media. And so my take is, unless you're an expert at Facebook and or LinkedIn or maybe TikTok, that LinkedIn is the lowest hanging fruit for most loan officers. And so, Lauren, you and I are going to talk for a few minutes about, I said, the number one thing on LinkedIn, number 1A, is have a LinkedIn profile page. That helps a lot. That's a good start. But then the next piece is, we'll call it number 2, is we want a LinkedIn profile page that is complete. And so we're going to look at my page, which is definitely not perfect. It's, it's got its own flaws, but my page does fit my definition of a complete LinkedIn profile. And one of the reasons that we want to fit this definition of a LinkedIn profile is it makes it, if you have these components on your LinkedIn profile page, it makes you the most findable via searches, both inside of LinkedIn, when somebody's searching for something inside of LinkedIn and or Google, and especially if they use LinkedIn, if they use a LinkedIn term, they use the word LinkedIn and your name or whatever, like, it makes it findable. So that's what's important. Okay, so number 1, you want a LinkedIn profile picture, like personal picture. I don't like this one of me, but I'm doing a new one, although I have said that for 6 months, but at least it's a picture. And I do tell people, this is my least favorite LinkedIn profile photo, right? Like somebody on the phone, I hate that. Unless there's a couple people that do that. They kind of do it in jest. It's kind of like they're actually trying to be annoying. It's like a meme. And so that's fine. But if you're doing it because you're actually trying to demonstrate through a photo that you do a lot of business on the phone, I'm not a fan of that. So okay, so number 1, good, you get a profile photo. Number 2, you want a background cover photo. And if you work for, so like with your group, Lauren, with you and Matt, since Matt has his own sub-branded team group that's super successful under the umbrella of the parent company, that I would say, Matt, you and his loan officers, probably best would be to have a profile cover photo, this top photo that has like we talked about last week on on the Facebook pages. So maybe some small branding for the company piece, like a small logo there, and then a bigger branding with Matt's team branding. So, and then it's exactly the same on the Facebook pages. cover photo pages we talked about last week. It's fine if the background image is a little bit different, but they look similar because the Matt's team branding is similar, right? So that's super important.
Okay.
Then I would say we'll just go through these. Those are the most important. Those are the very most important things. And then in order. So then these, I'm just going to go in random order. And so it's not hard to have a complete profile. And so you make sure that, I think this is called here, let's edit it. We can tell for sure. Yeah, it is called the headline. So you want a headline in there, something short, concise. I've used for a really long time that I help loan officers close more loans in less time. I help real estate agents, close more transactions in less time. So I used that same tagline. And since I'm now, helping at Axia Home Loans, I just included that. So helping loan originators. So a headline, that's great. You put in your current position, what industry you're in. Education is a bonus. Don't need to have that. That's a bonus if you do it. Your location, I mean, it's great to have. It's not part of a complete profile. So if you don't have that, that's fine. No reason really not to have it. That's really weird. Let's see what I have in here. It looks like I don't have anything. No, I do. Okay, so here, so let's go back. Where was that? Okay, under contact info, you click edit contact info, and then a primary email address, super important. And then a phone number. Like now I'm talking about if you're trying to create a complete profile for a loan originator. And it's the same thing we talked about on Facebook last week, right? Like we have to make it so that we want people to be able to find our page. Is what we want for loan officers is we want realtors to be able to find our page. And if they get there, to make it as easy as possible to contact us. And so if we don't have a phone number and we don't have an email address, like it's not making it very easy, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to touch something really quick here. So this is your LinkedIn profile URL, like LinkedIn address. And this just auto populates here. But the way it does work as soon as you sign up for an account, it usually says something like linkedin.com. It might have your name, maybe, or some version. It might say like J Hughes 1216-AZ412, right? So, but that's super easy to customize. And I've got a 3-minute video that I can send you after this so that you can show your loan officers how to customize. So it's just linkedin.com and their first last name. So that's very important. Then bonuses would be adding other ways for people to, for like realtors or business referral partners to get a hold of loan officers. So I would say here would be the probably Beckwith's team page, like not Facebook, but like his either team page or if each LO has their own LO page, then put the LO page there. Not like you wouldn't put www.parentcompany.com there. No, we want something specific so that if they click it, it's going to go, in your case, it goes straight to Matt's page or to the LO's page. I do put Twitter in there, and yeah, it's weird. I know it says remove here. I know I have there's a couple other links embedded. I'll just, since you're scribbling notes furiously, Lauren, just make a note on Linktree. I think Linktree it's another one of those tools that's free, simple, easy to use.
Linktree?
Yeah, it's called Linktree. It has nothing to do with LinkedIn. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. So
yeah, I've seen that on some Instagram accounts.
Okay, Linktree.
Yeah.
So Linktree is just a place to store it's like I use it like I don't I'm a kind of an anti-business card person.
Yeah.
I use Linktree and LinkedIn as my virtual business cards. And that's a whole nother 30 minutes. So as far as why on that. So anyway, that's what Linktree looks like. So I include my Linktree inside of the contact info.
Okay.
And then I think we hit all these. So then we'll go back and we'll talk about just a couple other things that I think are super important when having a complete profile. And probably the next most important, and maybe the last of two things that would be both important and necessary to make a complete LinkedIn profile. One would be your about, and this is something personal about you, and so that's a whole nother. You could look at that and you could share mine, and you could look at some other good ones and then share those with your loan officers. But I do think having something about you helps make a complete profile. It doesn't have to be super long. And we talked a little bit last week about LOs putting their NMLS numbers somewhere. Like in some LOs tend to put it in the headline, and I don't like that. I'm like, if compliance, everybody's compliance typically wants the NMLS number on the page. That's like, I tell people put it at the bottom of your about. In fact, mine is even right there. So
very bottom. Gotcha.
Yep. And then the last one would be employment. And so that's just under experience. And like, you don't have to go back 20 years. In fact, maybe I already did this. I talked to it was actually my coach a couple of years ago. He and I were kind of debating on this, and he ended up winning me over. I had a couple, like my position before being at MetLife, which actually was First Horizon Home Loans, was manager at Countrywide. And then before that, I did 5 years as an originator. I had those two things on there, and he's like, it's too far back. It doesn't help. It actually hinders your LinkedIn profile. And I wasn't sure that I actually agreed with him, but I listened to him and I didn't research it myself. So at least having, an originator's last couple, maybe a look back of 5 to 10 years is probably sufficient. And if they were in 15 jobs in the last 5 years, then it's like, well, then just pick the last 3 or something like that. You don't want to,
make them look good.
And the ones that they were there the longest, that's it. Then I'd say like education is a bonus. Like I've got this certification, that's, a bonus, obviously. Skills are things that other people endorse you on. So that's just going to happen. And then this is a big bonus, and this would be a whole nother hour you and I could do. And look, make a note, put an asterisk behind it, highlight it, and go to Matt's page and look at his recommendations and see how many he's got. I've got 28. I've got 28. So this is 28 people who either have worked with me or I've coached or something like that have endorsed me. And so when I'm talking to loan officers about this, who you're looking for to endorse you, imagine if like Matt's top 3 real estate brokers, teams, like referring realtor partners, that the principal of those groups have a written endorsement from them on Matt's page.
Okay.
And it's probably been 3-4 years since I talked to Matt about that. So I'd love to have you. And mine, like I was sharing this with somebody a few months ago. It's like, mine's pretty abysmal in the sense that the last time that I requested a recommendation from somebody was 2017. Like that's actually terrible. I've got a lot, and I've got some really, really, really good ones, helpful ones. Like if somebody was going to come coach with me, it's like, when I was doing that, I would point them here and say, hey, like, I'm not going to talk about myself and how I help people, read for yourself. You can call any of these people. It's like you email
Right.
them, ask them any question you want. So it's like the power of other people endorsing us, right? Endorsing Matt or the LOs. It's a
Yeah.
bonus. It's not required in order to have a complete LinkedIn profile, but it is tremendously helpful. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hit me with any, was that helpful? Hit me with any questions you have.
Yeah, that's very helpful. I do have a question about like I've been seeing like a featured section. Is that important to have, or like is that like a highlight of your page? Is it
Okay.
sufficient to do that?
Yes. Yes. So this would be like, so everything we talked, if we're using the lowest hanging fruit analogy, everything we just talked about, that's the lowest hanging fruit. Then the next lowest, right? Just having to reach up a little bit more would be um, consistently posting on
Yeah,
LinkedIn, you
I
know,
definitely need help with that.
and even just once a week is tremendously helpful. And me, Matt you could help Matt, Bud, a ton on that. So maybe make a note. Let's you and I do a like 30 minutes next week and talk
Okay.
about that because I could help you make that simple. Matt's too busy and shouldn't be spending his time doing that, but he does need, it'd be great if he could get one post a week and you could do 99% of the work for him. So I used to do, I was way more active on posting. I'm now in a position where it's like, I either don't have the time or better to say, I haven't made the time
Okay.
to make that a priority.
Yeah.
I use my LinkedIn profile in different ways now, but that's the number one thing I could be doing would be more consistently posting. So that's that second tier of low hanging fruit. And then the next one would be to take um, these featured things are one of two things. They can either be posts that like we just talked about, LinkedIn posts, and we're just going to feature them,
Okay.
right? So it's that way like if Matt were to you helped Matt with a post, he posts it and it's like gets tons of engagement. Maybe it's one of his podcast episodes, and for
Yeah.
whatever reason, like it really took off and it was popular. And that when something hits, it's like, well, that means it's interesting to people. Who cares whether we think it's good or not? Like
Right.
other people thought it was great. So like that would in fact look right here. So the first my last featured post that I added was Matt's first podcast episode, right? So that's why that's there. This was an interview I did with Glenn, I don't know, probably 4 years ago. And so um, it wasn't on LinkedIn. I pulled this in from YouTube. And the way you do that, this little edit button here just allows you to paste in the link of where the content is that you want to feature. So that could be a LinkedIn
Yeah.
link to a LinkedIn post, but it could be a YouTube link. Technically, it probably could be. Those are the only two things I've ever done. Well, maybe not. But he could pull in stuff from like a blog. So anyway, you get the idea. So having,
I gotcha.
I think featured, there's like 6 on this top row. Oh, it looks like 5. 1, 2, 3. No, it's 4.
Okay.
There's 4 that are featured on that are visible. But like if somebody was on my profile and they were actually interested, they go, okay, here's 4. Well, what are the other featured ones, And so they
Mhm.
could click that, and then you could see it looks like I've added,
Okay.
a few others as well. So, but it's the top 4 that show up and are visible on your profile.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta jump. I've got a call here in 2 minutes, bud.